So if there is something like that, just excuse me. Okay, so for some time. All right then. So let's start. So today is the last session in this series of foundations of machine learning. So what we are going to do is we are going to complete this sentiment analysis wala thing that I've promised to all of you, right? We'll see how to design, how to make our computer understand what is the sentiment behind any text available to us. What is the biggest challenge in solving this problem? Let's first understand that. Okay, what is the biggest challenge in solving this problem of sentiment analysis? Now, what are we given? Anyone who remembers what kind of data will be given to us? What kind of data? Yes, text data. But what kind of data? What are the columns that will be given to us? What is the problem that we are trying to solve? For the past 2-3 days, we have been discussing about this problem, right? We have also been discussing about what kind of data will be given. So do you remember that the data? Yes, we are going to get some reviews, some text reviews, right? Text reviews. And then we are going to get one column which is going to contain sentiment. Is that fine with everyone? Right? Now, what we need to do is we need to understand how to basically use machine learning models on top of it, right? And what is that machine learning model that we'll be using? What is that algorithm that we are going to use? Since there is two categories only, right? There are only two categories here. So what is something that we can do here? We can apply something called as classification here, right? And what is the algorithm name that can do classification for us? What is the algorithm's name? Yes, correct, Urval. It is logistic regression. It is logistic regression. If you remember the yesterday's lecture, yesterday we saw a lot of things, right? Yesterday we saw multiple different case studies of machine learning and deep learning. I saw you I showed you couple of projects, right? Wherein what we were trying to do, first of all, we were trying to basically separate out the species of a flower, right? The first project that I showed you yesterday, it was just to demonstrate how logistic regression can be implemented. The second project that we saw yesterday, it was about, anyone who can remember that, it was about classifying handwritten digits, right? Handwritten digits, right? It was simply trying to tell, if I try to draw something like this on the screen, it will tell us what is the digit that I'm trying to draw. The computer should be able to understand what is this handwritten digit written on in front of it, right? Similarly, the third project that we saw yesterday, we didn't discuss it in the depth, right? We only saw the inputs and outputs of all that, both these models, right? We didn't went into the code, right? We only went into the code for this first project that we saw yesterday, right? The third project that we saw, anyone who remembers this? Anyone remembers this? What was the third project? Now, do you remember the project? Can you tell me what was there in that project? No, not the NLP. We saw something called as compressing, right? We compressed the images, right? Image compression, and then we tried to reconstruct the image, right? We saw that there are deep learning algorithms. We can create neural networks in such a way that we can compress the image and then get back that image from the compressed image, right? We saw all this yesterday. Right now, today, what we are going to do is, yes, we used Keras there, but we didn't discuss the code, right? We didn't discuss the code. The code was written in Keras, Python Keras, right? So today what we are going to do is we are going to understand how to develop, how to create this sentiment analysis using something called as NLP, right? It is an NLP project. The reason is we are going to use some text data here, right? We are going to use text reviews, and on text reviews, what we are going to do, we are going to train our model so that in future it will be able to understand all that. um Samir, we have already shared that. How many of you really want to get that certification link, guys? Anyone wants that certification link for this session? Anyone else apart from, okay, Rohan? So let me do that. Rohan, why Rohan today? uh, very stony. So let me do that. Yeah, so I've shared all the links. Just try to, yes, Google form link. If you have already submitted the Google form, that is fine. But if you have not submitted, just try to fill up the certification Google Wala form, right? And you will get the certificate for this session as well. Yes, you are back. All right. So let's go down. Let me first show you the data. Okay, let me first show you the data. The data is stored inside my computer called as tweets.csv. Okay, the data is stored in this in my computer in the form of tweets.csv, right? And these are all the libraries that you already know, right? You already know about NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, matplotlib.pyplot, right? So it is an end-to-end project I'll be showing you, right? This is a complete end-to-end project. Just try to understand this thing from the beginning itself. Okay. So if I show you this entire thing, what is this entire thing? Now do you see we are having sentiment wala column, right? In the sentiment wala column, I have something called as neutral. I have something called as positive. I have something called as negative also, right? There are three kinds of sentiment in this entire data, and there is some tweet id, there is some confidence, there is some negative reason and so on, right? There are many different columns in the data. Let me actually scroll towards the right. Now do you see there is some information about the airline also? For example, this is Virgin America and so on, right? We'll see what are all the kind of airlines available in this data, right? Similarly, if I go towards the right, now do you see we also have the tweet text, right? So on Twitter, people are writing about these airlines, and we have captured. So this data has captured all these tweets about different airlines and what kind of sentiment is there behind those tweets. Okay, we'll try to do the entire EDA as well as we'll try to create a machine learning model on top of this data, right? Is the data clear to everyone? Is the data clear to everyone? We have text, we have multiple different things in the data. Airline name is also there. We also have what kind of sentiment is there. This is something that we need to predict, right? This is something that we need to predict. We need to predict whether the tweet is positive or negative or neutral, right? We have to make a machine understand the sentiment behind the text. And where is the text? If I try to scroll towards the right, this is the text, right? It is not that it is not in the format that we have been seeing. So earlier we have been saying that the x, all the inputs should lie here, all the output should lie here. But in this data that we have in front of us, x is so y is somewhere here and x is somewhere here, right? So we'll try to reshuffle, and we'll try to maybe we'll try to bring it in the format that we have already been seeing the entire data. Okay, we'll do all the things now. Okay, the first thing that I'm doing here, can you understand what is this line? What is this line about? Can you guys try to think of it? We have seen it in data analysis. Many people have attended the data analysis wala course. Can you try to write the SQL select query, which is going to basically represent this thing? What does it mean? No, Alpha. Try to rethink about it. Yes, Arti, correct. See, what we are doing here is we have already seen, right? We have data frame, we have dot lock, and then what we'll do is we'll put the row data here, whatever rows we want to see, and we'll put all the columns, whatever columns we want to see here, right? In select query, right? In the SQL select query, we have select star from from data frame, right? We write it something like this, the select query. And here the star simply means all the columns. Now, do you see what we are saying is we are saying all the rows, right? Instead of rows, we have this column, which means all the rows. I need to look at all the rows, but I need to look at only this subset of columns. I only need to look at this subset of columns, which is nothing but airline sentiment, airline, and text, right? Only these three columns I need to look at, right? So if you want to look at the actual answer, just try to look at the solution shared by Aarti. So she's saying that it is nothing but select airline underscore sentiment, right? Comma airline comma text, right? From, instead of star, we are putting all these three columns from data frame, right? We are saying something like this here, right? So we are just saying that we just need only these three columns. We don't need all these columns. We have so many columns in the data, right? In this data that we are having multiple different columns, like tweet ID is there, airline sentiment is there, but we need this airline sentiment wala column. We need airline wala column, right? Which represents which airline, for which airline people are saying what, right? We need to know that also. So we'll try to pick this thing also. And again, we need, where is that? We need text. What is the review that is written by a user? right? So we need all these three different things. Is it clear to everyone? Right? So if I show you the head of this tweet df, right, this tweet df, whatever we have formed, if I show you what is the head, you can see that these are the three columns in this data. Right now what we'll try to do is we'll try to look at the shape of this data to understand how many rows are there. Right, we need to know these things, right, the basic statistical things we need to do on the data. So what I am trying to do here, I'm just trying to see how many different columns and rows I have. So if you see this, how many rows are there? Around 14,640 rows are there, right? 14,640 different reviews are there. And how many columns? We have three exact columns, right? Now what I'll try to do is I'll try to also look at the airline sentiment, and I will try to look at the value count. Okay, I'll just do a value count on this column called as airline sentiment to understand what are the different categories in this column. Now, do you see the three categories are there: negative, neutral, and positive? In negative, we have 9,000 reviews. In neutral, we have these many. And in positive, we have these many reviews, right? There are many. So just by looking at this thing, you can tell that in this data, most of the reviews are negative, right? Most of the reviews are negative. Making sense to everyone, yes or no? Does it make sense? Cool. Let's move forward. So next, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do some EDA. If you remember, we can plot all these things, right? We can use multiple different plots, and we have already seen count plot, right? So what I'm doing is instead of value count, right? I want to basically see it visually. I want to create a visual plot for this same data, right? So that I can look at that negative are the maximum reviews in this entire data. We'll try to see that. Zach will try to see that. Okay. So there is not a single airline. There are multiple different airlines, right? You just tell me how do I check how many different airlines are there? Let's say I want to check how many different categories of airline are there in this column. What should I write? Can you think of the code that I can write here? I think the code is written in front of you, right? You just need to understand which code to choose to basically check how many different airlines are there. Can you think of it? How should I know what are all the? Yes, correct, Avnish. So yes, correct, Zach. So what I can do is I can simply say tweet df, right? Instead of this thing, I can just put airline and I can do value counts. Let's do that. Okay, do you want to do that? Let's see how many different airlines are there. Okay, so let's do that. Now, do you see? We don't have just Virgin America, right? Virgin America is the one which is the least data point. We have the least number of data points for Virgin America out of 14,640 data points, right? We have United, we have US Airways, we have American, we have Southwest, we have Delta, and then we have Virgin America, right? There are 6 different airline data we have, right? So we have these 6 different airlines. We have these 6 different airlines, and for each airline, we have some reviews, right? We have some reviews. People are talking about these airlines. They are writing the some text review, right? Along with the review, we also have something called as the sentiment behind that review, right? We also have the sentiment behind that review, right? We have all this data, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm just doing a visual representation of the same data, right? I'm just creating a count plot just to look at it visually. And if you see this, Virgin America is the least one, right? So you can see that Virgin America here is basically 500 data points, right? In this case, United, if you see United, it is around 4,000 or 3,500 plus data points are there for United Airways or United this airline, right? All right. Now, what I'll try to do is I'll try to simply do same kind of plot. I'll try to plot this thing, right? I'll try to plot this thing, the same plot, but I'll try to add hue here. I'll try to add hue here. Okay. Let's see what actually happens if I try to add hue here. Okay. So hue, I will add as airline. I will add as airline hue. Okay. I will add hue equal to airline. So what will happen is if I do hue equal to airline, right? If I do hue equal to airline, it is going to break neutral, right? It is going to break neutral into 6 different bars. This single bar will be broken into 6 different bar. Each bar will represent the number of neutral reviews for each airline. For example, what will happen is it will say ki these many what do we say, reviews are there for US Airways, right? It will say that these many are for United's, maybe these many are for Delta, maybe these many are for Virgin America, and so on. Similarly, for positive, it will say, so it will be neutral. It will be all neutral. Then it will be all positive. For all the 6 airlines, you will have different bars here, and then for negative, you will have different bars. Everyone got it? If I add u equal to some airline, so this column airline in this plot, what will happen? So let me show you the data. Let me show you the output actually, right? So this is something that we were discussing, right? For neutral, you have so if you see this color corresponds to Virgin America. Since Virgin America is having the least number of what do we say, the least number of data points, around 500 data points only, right? That's why it is giving you the least number of neutral and least number of positive and least number of negative data points, right? So this is all about the basic plotting, right? Now the next kind of plotting that I'll try to show you, I'll try to first of all show you all the 6 different plots, right? We have 6 different airlines. So what I want to do is I want to plot for all these 6 different airlines on a single plot. I will just draw all these 6 different airlines on a single figure, right? In this figure, we will have 6 different plots. Plot number 1, plot number 2, plot number 3, plot number 4, 5, and 6. Each plot, for example, this will be for US Airways. This will be for Delta. This will be for maybe Virgin America. This will be for maybe, let's say, United, Southwest, right? And then the final, but American, right? Something similar to this, right? And each plot will have how many neutral are there, how many negative are there, how many positive are there. Similarly, for next one, how many neutral are there, how many negative are there, how many positive are there, right? I'm just creating the number of neutral, negative, and positive wala plot for each and every airline separately. Okay, I'm just creating it separately. Okay, so let me show you the output. Now, do you see the output now? Right, it looks very nice, right? The output. So let me try to maybe bring all the yeah, I think, yeah. Now the first one is US Airways, second one is United, American, Southwest, Delta, Virgin America. Now just by looking at this data, can you comment something about these airlines? Can you comment something? Can you do some basic data analysis or data basic can you think of some observation? What do you observe from this plot? Try to think of it. Yes, Pravalika, correct. Yes, correct, Shubham. Yes, correct, Zach. Yes, correct, Rajesh. Yes. So see, if I try to compare all these 6 different airlines, yes, correct, Arti. Yes. You see, if I try to compare all these 6 different airlines, do you see that Virgin America is doing the best out of all these 6 different airlines? Right? All these 5 different airlines, US Airways ka to bura haal hai, right? This airline, it is doing worst, right? Because there are so many negative reviews about this Airways. Similarly, if you talk about United, it is again having so many negative reviews, right? American again is having so many negative reviews. But if you see Virgin America, the number of negative reviews and number of neutral and positive reviews are almost equivalent, right? So it is not doing that worst, right? It is not doing that worst compared to any other airline, right? Similarly, Delta also is okay, right? But the top 3 airlines, they are worst in terms of negative number of negative reviews that people are saying on the are writing on the Twitter, right? The number of people writing the negative reviews about these 3 airlines is a lot, right? Are you all able to understand this data analysis wala thing? Cool. Now let's go down. Let's go down. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to maybe create a word cloud. Anyone knows about a word cloud? What do I mean by word cloud? So these are all the different tweets. I'm just showing you multiple different tweets on a single. So top 2,000 words in this entire column, right? The text column, right? So you can see that people are people are putting these angry emojis, these crying emojis, right? Right. So somebody is saying flight booking problem, and then they are putting this and this crying emoji, right? Right. Somebody is saying that I reserved my seat, but the airline gave the seat away, right? Right. So people are putting the reviews, people are putting the emojis and everything. Yes, word cloud is a library, but what it actually means, what it actually means, what do you mean by word cloud? Try to think of it. Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute. Anyone? Um, anyone? Any solutions? What is a word cloud? All right. So let me actually maybe give you a brief on what is a word cloud. Okay. What does a word cloud look like? Let's say let's say I have some data. Okay. Let's say I have some data, and this data, right? This data is basically something like this. There are lots and lots of text reviews or something like that. Okay. Now let's say these text reviews are containing a word called as maybe let's say America a lot, or maybe India a lot, right? Let's say there is this word India that is occurring a lot in this entire text data. So what will happen is India will be basically written in this entire word cloud in the biggest font, right? Let's say the second most frequent word that is coming up in this entire text document is maybe let's say people, right? People is the second most frequent word that is written in this entire document. So people will come in the second large so second so India will be the most so biggest font will be for India. On second place it will be people, right? So similarly, let's say somebody is saying airline, so airline will come something like this. Let's say very few people are talking about maybe let's say some a word called as maybe schedule, right? So schedule will be very small, right? It will be in very small what do we say font, right? Font size will be very small, right? Depending upon the frequency of the word that is occurring up in the entire document, in the entire data, right? It will get basically written on this word cloud according to that font size, right? The biggest font size means this word comes a lot of time in this document, right? Similarly, the least the word that is coming up in the very small font size, you can see that you can think of it as the word which not many people are talking about, right? Is it making sense now? Everyone able to understand what is the meaning of this entire thing? Cool. Rajesh, any doubts? Okay, I'll talk about that, Artik. Okay. See, if I write Kanav space Bansal, if I write my name like this, let's say, let's say I store it inside a variable called as W, right? Now, if I say W colon 3, maybe 3 or 4, if I say W colon 3 or let's say 4, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? So this is slicing, right? You remember it from the Python class? Yes, correct, Pravalika, right? So from Python class, we have already seen this is the start, this is the end, right? And this is slicing, and slicing is going to start from the zero, the starting 0, 1, 2, and 3. It will go till 3, right? And minus 1 tak, right? It will simply print out this entire data, KANA, right? It will simply print out KANA, right? Now the entire text data whatever I was having, right? The entire text data whatever I was having, I just saved that entire this entire column, right? I just created a single word, a single sentence out of this entire column. Okay, I just wrote this line, right? I just wrote this line. What I did is I just said I need to take this entire column df text. I just need to take this entire column and I will join this entire column, right? But what will I do? I will take this entire text. I will join this entire text with this second column, second row, third row, and then fourth row, fifth row, sixth row, and so on up to 14,000, whatever, how many rows I'm having. I'll try to join all this text. And then what I'll do is I'll try to I'll try to join them just by putting a space in between. Okay, for example, let's say first row is containing maybe let's say A, B, C, D. Second row is containing maybe let's say X, Y, Z, right? So it will simply join it like this. It will simply join it like this: A, B, C, D, then put a space in between, and then X, Y, Z. Now, is it making sense? So this is something that is happening here. So this W word is going to become a string, a big string, which is containing all these different rows, right? With space, with this space so it is just using this space in order to basically put these multiple different things together. Making sense, right? Now, what is the next thing I'm doing? I'm just saying that after joining this entire thing, okay, I just need to show first 2,000 different characters. Okay, so it is going to become a very big sentence, right? If I concatenate all these rows, it will become a very big sentence, right? It will be a very big sentence. So I'm just saying that I need to look at first 2,000 different characters, right? First 2,000 different characters, which mean this is the 0th character, first character, second character, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and so on up to yahan tak you will have 2,000 different characters. Yes, I can do that. So let me actually show you. Instead of speaking about it, let's try to maybe look at it, right? So let's say I have a list. I have a list lst equal to, how do I create a list? I can say Kanav. Let's say first element in this list is Kanav. Second element in this list is Bansal, right? Third element in this list is maybe let's say uh, Technology for All, TFA, right? Now what I do is, let's say I try to create maybe let's say a word, right? W equal to, what I want to do is I want to join all these three different elements or these three different things, right, together, right? What I can write is I can write join, and then what I should pass LST in this. Now what I can do is I can print this W. Let me show you what is this W. Now, do you see this W is containing this entire, all these different elements. It is containing all these three different elements in this single sentence, right? Now, even if I try to maybe look at the type of this W, you will find out that this W is nothing but a string type. Now, is it making sense now? Right? So you can have, right? So if I have something like this, Kanav says, what's up? Something like this. And then the second, let's say this is the first row, right? This is the first row. This is the second row. This is the third row, right? Right. So if I run this program again, if I run this code again, you can see Kanav says, what's up? And then the second element is getting concatenated with this space in between. And then the third row is getting concatenated with this space again, right? Making sense? Okay, there is a question. If I have to join by semicolon, can I write? Yes. You can do that. You can definitely do that. Let's put a semicolon here. If I run this thing now, do you see there is a semicolon in between, right? Right? Understood this now? Cool. So what is the purpose? So I will show you why I'm doing like this. Okay, I just need to create a big word cloud, right? I need to create the word cloud for this entire text data, right? So what I'm doing here is let me actually go back and show you what I'm doing here. So let me first remove all these unnecessary cells that I just created. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to first of all see I'm trying to say that in this data frame, okay, select all the columns, right, where airline sentiment is equal to negative, wherever airline sentiment is negative, right, wherever airline sentiment is negative, just try to basically filter out all those rows, right? And then this df, I'm just storing all these things inside this df. Now if you try to do this df airline sentiment value count, you will see that all the negative sentiments, all the rows with negative sentiments are filtered out, right? Now this df is containing only the negative sentiments. This df is containing all the rows which are having negative sentiment. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to simply join all the different these reviews, right? I'm just joining all these reviews to create a one big, very big sentence, right? This is a very big sentence that I'm just creating by joining this entire thing. Is it clear till this point? Okay, let's not worry about what is the purpose of this for now. Okay, I'll show you as the code progress. I'll show you what is the purpose of it. Is this clear till this point? Yes, one big sentence of negative review. Yes, Rahat. Okay, so in simple terms, let me put it in simple terms. Okay, whatever negative review I have in the data, right, I just created a very big sentence containing all those negative reviews. Okay, I just created a very big sentence which contains, I concatenated all the negative reviews to create a very big sentence. Is that fine now? Shubham, Arti, is that fine? Cool. Now let me show you what I'm doing here. It will be a little complex to understand, but let's try to understand this. Okay. So let me first zoom in a little. Okay. So what I'm trying to do now is, so this is the exact same thing that I did earlier. Okay. It is the same exact same thing that I did earlier. And here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see the words that I was having. I'm just trying to clean all the words. Okay, let's not worry about what this code is all about, right? It is a little advanced to understand at this point, right? Because I'm using something called as a list comprehension, right? Just try to maybe read about it or maybe go to my GitHub and try to understand list comprehension. What I'm trying to do in this list comprehension is, right? So just try to understand what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I'm just taking a word at a time, right? For example, this is the entire data, right? So this is the first word, right? And then this is the second word. This is the third word, fourth word, fifth word, sixth word, seventh, eighth, and so on. I'm just picking up each word at a time, right? I'm picking up each word at a time. And then what I'm doing is I'm just removing, if the word is starting with HTTP, right? Right, if the word is starting with HTTP, guys, are you all having that latency? So is there a problem from my internet connection or maybe something like that? Everything is fine, right? Okay, so Alpha, maybe try to look into your internet connection. Please try to look into your internet connection. Okay. All right. Now, do you see that this is one of the words, right? This is this entire thing. This is nothing but a, what do we say, a URL, right? It is a URL. And I don't want these URLs. I just want to clean up all my data, right? These URLs won't help me to understand whether the user are saying negative or positive about my, about my airline, right? Let's say I'm one of the airline owner. I want to understand what people are talking about my airline. So this is not going to help me in understanding whether the people are saying positive or negative about my airline. What is the sentiment behind it, right? So I will simply try to do what, I'll try to remove these HTTP, everything starting with HTTP. It means that is nothing but a URL, right? I'll just try to remove that. Similarly, whatever is starting with at the rate, I'll try to also remove that. Okay, everything that is starting with at the rate, I'll try to also remove that. For example, if you see this in Twitter, you will try to tag different people and different airline and different accounts using this @ so I'll try to remove that also, right? And again, how many of you have used Twitter? How many of you have used Twitter? So do you know there is something called as RT in Twitter? RT. So people will repost, right? For example, let's say I put something in Twitter, I post something, I post some tweet on Twitter. So people will retweet that tweet, right? People will simply, so tweet simply means a post, right? So people will repost that thing. People will share that thing or reshare that thing, right? So all the people who do that, right, they will put the word RT there. Okay, that word RT will come there, right? So I just want to remove that RT word also, right? I'm just trying to do some text cleaning thing. Okay, I'm just cleaning up some of the text. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? I'm just trying to remove all the noise in the text data, right? So these are the kind of thing that you will be doing frequently whenever you work with the text data. This is one of the most challenging thing to do on the text data. Okay, the next thing that I'm doing is I am creating a word cloud. Okay, I'm creating a word cloud, and I'm saying that, right, I'm saying that background should be black for that word cloud. Its width should be 1600, its height should be 800, right? So what it means is its width should be 1600, its height should be, yes, 1600 into 800, right? So this is something that it should look like, right? And I'm saying that generate this word cloud on all this entire clean word wala big sentence. Okay, I have created a very big sentence. This word cloud should be created on that. Now, can anyone tell me what are the most frequent words that you will see in this entire document? In this entire text, whatever people are saying, whatever people are writing, that is something that you have seen, right? But try to understand one thing. Words like a, a, of, to, and words like that, right? These are the words that will appear in each and every sentence, right? These are the words that people will use to form sentences. Yes or no? Yes or no? So these will be the words which will be the most frequent words. Everyone agrees to this? These are the kind of words which will be the most frequent words. Yes or no? So instead of looking at these words, right, looking at these words means nothing, right? So what I'll try to do is I'll try to remove these words. Yes, articles and prepositions. Yes, right. All the prepositions and articles. So I'll try to remove these words. So how do I remove these words? I just need to mention stop word equal to stop word, capital stop word. I just need to mention this thing here. Okay, that's it. It simply means that, say, this capital stop word is going to contain all these all. So these are called as stop words in this NLP pre-processing step. Okay, they are called as stop words. I'll just try to remove these stop words, right? Yes, they are predefined. They are predefined. These, all the English stop words are inserted inside this library, inside this entire list. It is a list containing all these stop words. Is that clear? I'm just importing this word cloud, right? This word cloud and this stop word from a library or from a module called as word cloud. Okay, so this stop word and this word cloud is used to create that image, and this is containing all the stop words in English, right? So let me go down and let me now show you. So this is the word cloud for all the negative sentiment, right? All the people who are saying negative about the flights, right? This is the word cloud from them. Do you see people are talking about delayed flights, right? People are talking about delayed flights. People are talking about late flights, right? People are talking about time. Maybe they are wasting a lot of time. People are talking about customer services, right? People are talking about cancelled flights, right? Similarly, people are talking about, let's see what else they are talking about. Why people are basically, so this is negative review, right? We can directly see that people are talking about all these kind of things. You see bag, somebody is saying bag. Let's find out if there is something relevant to the bag. So many people are saying this bag word. Maybe somebody lost their luggage or lost their bag, right? So maybe because of that they are talking about this. Are you all able to understand this now? Right, this looks like a genuine negative word cloud, right? Everyone able to understand this? Yes or no? All right, cool, right? Similarly, you can also create positive word cloud, right? So you can also create positive word cloud if you want, right? So I'm not doing that for just to save some time. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's try to now come to, so this is all EDA, right? This is all EDA for text data, right? Whenever you do text data analysis, so you will do this kind of EDA on text data, right? It will be a little different from what you do on the numerical data or categorical data, right? Now let's go down. Let's try to understand what are the things that we need to do on text data. Now what I'll do is I'll try to use this text data like this. I have reviews, I have sentiment, right? I have reviews and I have sentiments. So these reviews, they all are in the text format. Yes or no? They all are in the text format. Now, can a mathematical formula, see, we are going to put this entire thing to logistic regression, right? We are going to put this entire data to logistic regression, which is going to in turn understand this model. It is going to simply understand what is the line that can separate positive and negative reviews. Yes or no? Yes or no? Are you all able to understand this part? Right? Now, what we need to do is we need to understand, right? We need to understand that this logistic regression, right? It is nothing but a very big mathematical, very complex mathematical formulation, right? Internally, it is nothing but mathematical formulation. Now, can a mathematical formula, for example, if you write a square plus b square, are you going to put text inside a and inside b, inside these variables a and b in mathematics? Are you going to put these text data? So what do you want to, what will you try to put inside it? You will put, you will put what? You will put the numbers, right? Yes, numerical value. You will put numbers or numerical values. Now, what we'll do is in NLP, we'll try to convert the entire text data to numerical data, right? We'll try to convert the entire text data to numerical data. And this process, right? There is a way of converting this, and that way is called as bag of word representation. Bag of word representation. Okay, that way is called as bag of word representation. It is one of the classical approach of converting text data to numerical data, right? There is a complex approach also called as TF-IDF, right? There is a complex approach also. These are the different approaches that you can use in order to convert the text data to numerical data, right? How it works, let's not worry about it for now, but let's try to see that there are these approaches like bag of word. There is an approach called as TF-IDF. There is another approach, which is a deep learning approach of converting text data to numerical data, which is called as word2vec, right? Word2vec. There is another approach which is really famous right now for the past 1 or 2 years, right? It has become literally state of the art, called as BERT, BERT, right? This is the state of the art right now in deep learning, in machine learning, to convert text data to its numerical representation. This is the state of the art right now. But understanding BERT is very complex at this moment. Okay, so we'll try to focus only on the bag of word approach. Is that fine with everyone? Right? TF-IDF is also a little complex at this moment. Okay, even BERT2vec is very complex, and BERT is super complex. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll try to maybe focus on bag of word approach to convert the text data to numerical data. But before doing this thing, let's try to understand couple of things. Okay, so let's say somebody is saying something like this: this flight is bad, right? Somebody is saying, I enjoyed the journey, right? Right? Thanks to this maybe Virgin America. Thanks to Virgin America, right? Let's say these are the three different reviews written by people, right? Bag of word, Urval, bag of word. It is the simplest and most basic approach, right? So that bag of word is going to consume less time. Okay. Now, try to understand one thing, guys. Can you tell me what kind of sentiment is behind this review? Can you tell me whether it is positive or negative? Can you tell me what are the reviews, what are the sentiments behind all these three reviews? So first one is negative for sure, right? What about the second one? What about the second one? Yes, first one is negative. What about the second one? Okay, positive. What about the third one? What about the third one? It is like positive, right? Let's not worry about neutral. Okay, so later what I'll do is I'll try to remove all the neutrals so that we can only focus on positive and negative reviews. Okay, so I'll remove all the neutrals and we'll only focus on positive and negative reviews. Okay, that's it. Okay, now can you tell me what is that word that is going to help us in understanding whether this review is negative or positive? Bad, right? This is the word, right? This is the word that helps me understand that this is a negative review. Similarly, when we talk about the second review, what is that word which helped me to understand whether this is a negative or positive? Yes, so this person is talking about enjoyed the journey, right? So these are the two words which helps me to understand that they really enjoyed the journey, right? And I can simply say it is a positive sentence, right? Similarly, what about the third one? What about the third one? Thanks, right? This is the word which helps me to understand that it is a positive sentiment again. Now, do you see that all these words that I'm going to draw in green color, I'm going to basically put a box in this green color. They are nothing but the stop words, first of all. Yes or no? They are nothing but the stop words, right? So what is the best thing? Should I remove these all stop words from this data? It will be helpful, right? It will be a small data set. It will be very easy to understand what is actually happening. So it is a better practice to remove all these stop words. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do something called as data pre-processing before going to machine learning, and this is really important to do, right? Let me tell you why. Okay, let me tell you why it is really important. So what I'll do is I'll try to convert entire data, whatever data I have, I'll try to convert it to numerical representation. You remember that we were saying that we'll try to convert the entire text data to numerical representation using something called as bag of word, right? Now how actually bag of word is going to work, let's try to see that. Okay, let's try to see that how actually bag of word is going to work. So let me try to write it here. Maybe let's say so let's use the blackboard. Okay, so it will be better to use it now. Can you all see the blackboard? Okay, so what were the reviews? This flight is bad. What was the second one? I enjoyed uh, enjoyed this flight, right? Similarly, what was the third one? Thanks to Virgin America, VA. Let me write Virgin America as VA. Okay. Similarly, yeah. So let me put it like this, right? So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to convert this entire data to numerical representation, and the easiest way to represent this entire data to numerical representation is using something called as bag of word. Okay. What bag of word does is, let's see. What bag of word does is it will try to learn the vocabulary behind this entire data, right? Whatever text data you have, bag of word representation will first learn all the vocabulary, right? And what is the vocabulary? Can anyone tell me what are the unique words in this entire thing? The unique word is this. Unique word is flight, is, bad, right? What is the next unique word? I, right? Um, I. What is the next unique word? Anyone? What is the next unique word? Can anyone tell me, please? Yes, enjoyed. Okay. What is the next one? Try to answer this thing now. What is the next unique word? Why? Why not this? Why not this? Ye wala word? Why not? See, try to see this, right? See, so this is already written, but do you see Python is a what do we say, case sensitive language, right? Python is a case sensitive language, right? So it is going to be treated as another word. Making sense to everyone? All right. So what is the next word? What is the next word? Thanks, right? Yeah, yeah. So see, computer is dumb, right? Computer is dumb. We have to make them understand all these things, right? So the next word is thanks. Yes, no worries, Avnish. Okay, no worries. Next word is thanks. right? The next word is to, right? And the final word is VA. Now, what is going to happen with bag of word is, bag of word is going to basically say that all this unique vocabulary, right? All this unique vocabulary will be treated as a single column. It is going to be treated as a single column. One word is going to be treated as a single column. Okay. And how do you represent each row? For example, if you want to represent the first row is going to be represented like this. How many times this is coming in this word? In this entire sentence, how many times this is coming? It is coming exactly once, right? How many times flight is coming? It is exactly coming once. Is coming exactly once. Bad is coming exactly once. All the other things are going to be zero. Now, how do I represent this thing here? Right? So this is coming zero times. Flight is coming one time. Is it not coming? Is not coming. Bad is not coming. I is coming one time. Enjoyed is coming one time. Yeah, this is coming one time. And then thanks to VA, it is not coming. Now the last one, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Now, are you all able to understand? This is the numerical representation, right? This is the numerical representation. We'll try to convert the entire data like this. So this is how bag of word basically represents the entire data. And the final column will be nothing but, the final column will be nothing but this column, final column will be nothing but the sentiment behind this sentence. And in this case, it will be negative, it will be positive, it will be positive. Everyone able to understand this now? Okay, okay, Ashwini. All right. So this is what we'll do, right? This is what we will try to do. Now, can anyone tell me that isn't it going to help us to maybe remove before going to the bag of word representation? Isn't it helpful to maybe convert this entire, maybe remove all these stop words? If I remove all these stop words, isn't it going to be really interesting? Isn't it going to really help us? Because the dimensionality of the data is going to reduce, right? After converting all the data to numerical data, do you see the number of number of columns that you have in the input data is going to increase really? So it is going to become very, very, very large, right? Are you all able to see this? Right? So the number of dimensions, number of columns that you are going to get as in the input data is going to become very, very large. So it is a very good practice to first of all remove all the what do we say, stop words, right? Stop word removal, right? This is a very good practice to do that, right? Removal. Okay, so I think there is some problem. Just a second, guys. Okay, so yeah, now it is working fine. So I'll try to, yeah, yeah, glitch. It is. I don't know why it is behaving strange. Maybe I think for past 2 days, maybe because of some update or something. Yeah, I don't know why, but this has happened for the first time. It never behaves like this. All right. All right, so let's continue. What exactly your device? I'm not sure about it. So it is a office laptop. I'm not sure about what is the configuration or something, but it is a good high end laptop. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so let's see what is the next thing. What is the next thing? So yeah, so what we were talking about, yes, the first thing that we need to do is to remove the stop words, right? Remove the stop words. The second thing, normally what we'll do is we'll try to also remove all the special characters, right? Why? For example, let's say somebody is putting a full stop here. Do you understand that full stop is going to become one dimension here? And is there any use of these full stop? We'll just counting the full stops, right? There is no use of counting the full stops, or maybe somebody is putting a hash, exclamation, or maybe hashtags, or maybe at the rate, right? There is no use of counting these hashtags or maybe number of exclamation or full stops, right? So it is a good practice to remove all the these special characters, right? Similarly, what we'll also do is we'll try to also remove all the special character as well as numbers, right? We'll also remove all the numbers, right? So these are the basic things that you will try to do. Similarly, you will also remove, so there is something called as, there is a step called as stemming, right? It is very important step, stemming, or we also use, sometimes we also use lemmatization, right? So this is something that most of the times people will ask to the freshers whenever you go for a interview as a for a role of data science, data scientist, or maybe machine learning engineer. People will ask you this very basic question: what is stemming and how is it different from lemmatization, right? So what actually happens is, let me actually talk about it. Okay, thanks. So let's say there is this final third review. Somebody is saying thanks to Virgin America, right? Enjoy. Let's say somebody is saying enjoy, right? And full stop. Now, do you see that enjoyed is here, right? Enjoyed is here, but because we are writing enjoy, and that too so let me put it inside in this lowercase only. Now, should enjoy be considered as a new column? Yes or no? Is it a new word? Yes, right? It is a new word, right? So it should come here. But is there any difference in the sentiment behind enjoy and enjoyed? Both of them represents positive sentiment, right? Yes or no? So what I'll try to do is I'll try to stem out, right? I'll try to, for example, let's say if I have enjoy and I have enjoyed, right? So what I'll do is I'll try to stem out these suffixes, sorry, prefix, as these suffixes, not the prefixes. I'll try to remove these suffixes, right? For example, if somebody is saying enjoying, right? So I'll try to remove this suffix. Is it making sense? So that we reduce the number of dimensionality in the data, right? We reduce the number of dimensionality just by using this stemming or lemmatization. Both of them are going to do the same word. Yes, it will be considered as a new dimension, Arti, right? Because it won't understand whether this means enjoy, right? Otherwise, what you have to do is you have to implement something called as a spell corrector in your entire code, right? That is also very interesting thing you can do, right? You can put a spell corrector which is automatically going to recommend that you should convert this enjyd as enjoyed, right? So that later on stemming will be able to understand that it is enjoys, it only means enjoy, and it will stem out ed from the end. Okay, cool. What is another thing that you can do? What is another thing that you can do? There is step number 0 that I've missed here. So should you convert all the data into lowercase or uppercase? Lowercase, maybe lowercase or uppercase, right? So that you can save yourself from this kind of thing also, right? So this is written in uppercase T. It is written in lowercase t, right? Because of that, because Python is a case sensitive language, right? It is going to become two different dimensions. So it is a better practice to maybe convert everything to lowercase, then remove all the stop words, remove all the special characters and numbers, and stem or lemmatize the data, right? I will show you what is the meaning of stemming and lemmatization. What is the difference actually? Okay, we'll talk about it once we look into the code. Okay, let me go back to the code. Yeah. So let me show you what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to first of all use something called as NLTK, right? There is in Python, there is something called as NLTK. It stands for NLTK. It stands for Natural Language Toolkit. Okay, NL, Natural Language, TK, Toolkit, right? So it contains all these things. Okay, all these things. It will help us to maybe remove the stop words. It will help us to stem the sentences, the words. It will help us in lemmatization. It will help us in everything, right? It will help us in each and everything, right? So what I'm trying to do here, okay, I won't be explaining each and everything in this code because there are a couple of things that you won't be able to understand at this point. Maybe try to take this entire code as a reference, okay, and try to maybe write your own code or maybe implement this again, okay? So what I'm trying to do here is I will try to basically pre-process the text. This code is going to simply help me remove all the special characters and digits. Okay, I won't be able to explain this part because it comes under regular expression. And given that we have not covered regular expression, it will be very difficult to explain in this class. Okay, because regular expression itself is going to take around 3 to 4 hours for you to understand, right? Let's not worry about that. Okay, so it is a regular expression wala code. Okay, I'm just using regular expressions to remove all the special characters and all the digits, right? So yeah, it is super confusing, but let me see if I can maybe do a new foundational course on regular expressions, maybe for 2 to 3 days, maximum 2 days, right? Yeah, I'll try to do that, right? So what I'm trying to do here is I'm saying that whatever raw tweet is there, okay, whatever raw tweet is there, right? I will simply remove. So this cap symbol means anything which is not an alphabet from A to Z and capital A to capital Z, just remove, just replace that with a space. Just remove all those things and replace it with a space. Now everyone able to understand this? This means everything which is not either A to Z or capital A to capital Z, right? Just remove it with this space. Okay, just remove all the things. So what are these things? I'm just saying anything which is A to Z and capital A to capital Z, just keep that and remove everything else, right? What is everything else? It can be 0 to 9. It can be hashtag. It can be exclamation. It can be star. It can be this symbol. It can be this symbol. All these special characters and numbers, just try to remove that. Okay. The next thing, yes. The next thing is, I'm saying that, right, take this cleaned data. Right now, this is a clean data, right? It won't contain any special character or digit. Just take this thing and convert it to lowercase, right? Convert it to lowercase. You remember, we need to convert the data into lowercase, right? Now, what is the next step? I'm trying to basically split the entire. So I'll have a very big sentence now. Okay, I'll have very big sentence. Now what I'll try to do is I'll try to split the sentence into word by word. Okay, so this line is going to do something like this. If I have Kanav Bansal is rude, right? So what will happen is, let's say somebody is writing something like this. So what is going to happen is it is going to split the entire line like this. Kanav, then Bansal. It will split it into word by word. Okay, is rude, right? And this entire thing is going to get saved, right? This entire thing is going to get saved inside this variable called as words, right? There is a list called as words, which is going to contain all these words. Is that clear to everyone? So this line is simply taking entire string and converting it to a list containing multiple different elements. So all these words, right? Now, finally, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove the stop words, right? Again, this is a list comprehension. I won't be able to explain this again, right? So what I'm trying to do here is I'm taking all the English stop words. I am comparing, for example, now I was having Kanav Bansal is rude, right? Something like this. So what is the stop word here? Is this a stop word, right? So it will take one by one, it will take each word from this list called as words, right? It will take each element at a time. It will see whether it is a stop word. It is not a stop word. It won't basically remove it. It is not a stop word again. It won't remove it. It is a stop word. Now it will remove this thing from the list. It is not a stop word. It will keep it as it is, right? So this line is doing something like this. Now what about the next line? Next line is just about either implementing the stemming or lemmatization. Okay, I'm just using stemming or lemmatization on all the data, right? So I will show you what will actually happen if I try to put stemming or lemmatization. Okay, so this entire code is nothing but to implement all these things, right? I'm just writing. So that is a function. If you try to see this clearly, it is a function. I'm just defining the function here. Okay, but in this code, what I'm doing is I'm just calling this function. Okay, this function. I'm just calling this function on all the tweets, and I'm saying that just implement stemming on that entire data, right? In this data, what I'm in this code, what I'm doing is I'm just taking all the tweets again and I'm putting lemmatization instead of stemming. Okay. Now let me try to show you what stemming and lemmatization is doing, right? For example, this is the entire actual text. After cleaning the entire data, after removing all the stop words and everything, see, this is getting removed, right? This is a special character, it is getting removed. What is a stop word, right? What is a stop word? This full stop is again a stop word, right? So everything is getting removed from here, right? Now, do you see any difference in stemming and lemmatization? Is there any difference in stemming and lemmatization? Yes or no? This column represents the stemming wala thing. This is going to represent the stem lemmatization. Is there any differences in stemming and lemmatization? According to this sentence, is there any difference in stemming lemmatization? Yes or no? No, right? Let's go down. Not much nahi, bilkul bhi nahi, right? So there is no difference. Now let's try to look at this. Okay. Now do you see it is getting, so plus is getting converted to PLU, right? You have is a stop word, it is getting removed. Added is getting removed. Added is getting converted to AD, right? Commercials is getting converted to commerce, right? It is removing this entire thing. ALS, it is removing ALS from the commercial. Experience is getting converted to expery, right? Right. Similarly, all these words you won't be able to, as a human being, it will be very difficult for you. Yes, right. It will be very difficult for you to understand this entire sentence, but computer can understand it, right? But if you look at lemmatization is going to make sure that the sentences that are getting converted, it is going to be human readable, right? Do you see plus is plus, still plus, right? Added, commercial, experience, right? But stemming is basically, it is really rude, right? Stemming wala thing is rude, not Kanav Bansal, right? So stemming is making us hard, making it hard for us to understand what is actually this word PLU. It can be anything, right? Yes, it is cutting up so much information, right? It is removing so much information from these words, stemming, right? But lemmatization is taking care of the output should be human readable. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes or no? Are you all able to understand lemmatization and stemming now? Cool. Now let me show you how to write the code for bag of word. Right now I have converted the entire data into the cleaned data. Now I will use this data and I will use this data, or I can use this data, clean text, and then airline sentiment, right? One or two, one and two, or three and two. I can use either one and two or three and two, right? So let's go down. So I'll try to prepare the data in such a way that I'll remove all the negatives, sorry, neutrals, right? I'll just keep all the positives and negatives, right? And finally, what I'm trying to do here, yes. So if we get comments in different languages, we have to look into different libraries, right? So so most of the times you will see that if you have English data, it is very easy to work on that. But if you have multiple different languages, it is going to become harder. Okay, Rajesh. So normally what happens is in these languages, for example, even in Hindi, right? You need to get some library which is able to do the stemming and everything for Hindi, right? Because Hindi is not supported by NLTK, right? You have to come up with something of your own, or maybe you have to write something of your own, or maybe try to look for some library which is going to maybe parse Hindi sentences. Okay, Rajesh? Yeah. So can anyone explain me what is happening here? Can anyone explain me what is happening here? We spent a lot of time yesterday understanding this code. Yes, we are splitting the data set, right? We are having this data set containing text data and containing something called as sentiments, right? Now, what we are doing with this data, we are simply using this we are basically splitting this entire data into 80% and 20%. How do I note 80 and 20? Because I'm keeping test size as 0.2. 0.2 simply represents 20% test data and 80% should be kept inside the train data, right? So I'm just creating something like this. And finally, what I'm doing is I'm using bag of word, right? Try to maybe look into my Jupyter notebook. Okay, just go to my GitHub and try to look into this this code of airline sentiment. Okay, and go to this link. Okay, in order to understand bag of word clearly, just try to go to this link. Okay. Yes, Shubham. Yesterday we did 75-25, right? Today we are doing 80-20, right? Do you remember that now we are having 14,000 data points? Right, today we are having 14,000 data points. Yesterday we were having only 150 data points. We were splitting this data into 75-25, right? Otherwise we won't get anything inside the test data. Right now we can also do 80-20 because the data is large, right? We have a large data set now. All right, now this is the code for bag of word, right? Very easy code, right? What I'm doing is, first of all, from sklearn feature extraction text, I'm importing something called as count vectorizer, right? The next thing I'm doing is I'm trying to create the something called as what do we say, object, right? We are just using something called as we are initializing. Yes, it is a variable, but it is called as a, so we are using something called as an object oriented wala thing here. Okay, it is a class, and this is the object of this class, right? So we are creating a variable which is nothing but the object of this class, right? It represents this count vectorizer. This variable represents this count vectorizer. And finally, what I'm doing is using this vectorizer, I'm fit and transforming on the data, on all the training data. I'm trying to fit and transform. And finally, using the same vectorizer, I'm doing the transformation on the test data as well. Okay, let's not worry about what do I mean by fit transform. It will basically do what? It will simply learn the vocabulary. It will learn the vocabulary, and it will try to convert all the text data to numerical data, right? This is something that is going to happen with this count vectorizer. This is nothing but bag of word, right? Count vectorizer is nothing but bag of word representation, right? Is that fine with everyone? Cool. Let's go down. Now try to read this thing. Okay, try to see what is actually happening here. Okay, do you remember we were having 14,640 data points, right? When I did 80-20% split, 80-20% split, do you see in training data now how many rows we are having, right? 80% of 14,640 is nothing but 11,712, right? And try to see what is this number. Can anyone tell me what is this number? What is this number? No. Try to understand it. Try to understand it. We are saying train feature dot shape, right? It is the output of this line. Yes, alpha, correct, right? So this is row, and this is the number of columns, right? So in the data that we were having 76,589 unique words, right? These many unique words are there, right? So if these many unique words are there, do you understand that these many columns will be there? Correct, Aarti? Right? Aditya, is it clear? Ashwani, right? So 76,589, right? It is not a joke, right? Right? So it is a very big dimensional data. Now, do you remember yesterday, day before yesterday, we were looking into two-dimensional things, right? How to plot a data point in 2 dimensions, how to plot a data point in 3 dimensions, right? How to plot a point in 4 dimensions. We were not able to do that. Now, how many dimensions do we have? We have 76,589 dimensions. Right now, if I want to create a logistic regression, if I want to come up with a line in this 76,589 dimensions, in 2 dimensions, the line can be written like this: w1x1 plus w2x2. You remember this form, plus w not equal to 0, and we wrote this thing as w transpose x, right, equal to 0. We wrote this entire thing as w transpose x equal to 0, a vector, right? Yes, right. It is a dot product between 2 vectors, right? If you see this part, it is a dot product between these 2 vectors. Right. Similarly, in 3 dimensions, how do I write it? I will write it as w1x1 plus w2x2 plus w2x2 plus w3x3, right, plus w0 equal to 0. Right now, how many dimensions are there? There are 76,589 dimensions. Right, you can't even think of visualizing this thing. right? So the hyperplane, yes, the hyperplane that is going to get formed, right? My computer is going to come up with a hyperplane, right? Which is going to somehow separate this entire data. It is going to learn a line, a hyperplane, which is going to be present inside. We can't even visualize it. Okay, I'm just plotting it in 2 dimension. We can't even visualize it. The number of dimension here is nothing but 1 and 2, right? There, the number of dimensions is going to be 76,589 dimensions, right? It is beyond imagination, right? Beyond imagination, right? Even fourth dimension is beyond imagination, right? We are now talking about these many dimensions, right? It is a very difficult problem to solve, right? Without linear algebra, without vector calculus, it is not possible to solve this problem, right? But what we can do is we can directly use logistic regression. Do you remember yesterday we saw logistic regression, right? We can use directly logistic regression on top of this data, and it is going to take care of everything, right? Now, let's not worry about this code. Okay, let me show you what is the accuracy from the logistic regression. Isn't it a good accuracy? See, 83% accuracy. My computer is able to understand all the sentiments and everything 83% of the times, right? It is a very good thing, right? Anything beyond 70% or 80% is very good, right? Is it making sense to everyone? Right? So see, we have learned for classification that there is something called as logistic regression. Similarly, I have also shown you the code for decision tree here, random forest here, as well as SVC, support vector classifier here. Okay, maybe try to go through this code. Okay, try to see what is actually happening, right? We have already seen what is logistic regression, right? Decision tree and random forest are a little different. Okay, they work a little different. As well as SVC. SVC is called as support vector machine, Arti. Support vector machine. Support vector machine or support vector classification. C means classification. Let me actually show you what is actually meaning of support vector. Okay, support, what it does, what this library does. First of all, tell me one thing. What will logistic regression do if I have data like this? If I have data like this, let's say a data like this. So what will logistic regression do? Can anyone tell me now? Can anyone tell me what will logistic regression do? Yes. How will it classify Pravalika? So will it come up with this line? Sorry. Yes, it will simply try to create a line, right, which will separate all the data. Let me try to draw the line properly for once, right? No. I don't want to draw this line. I think yes. Now, is this a good line? Tell me, is this a good line or this second line is the good line? Line number one, line number two. Which line is the good line? Line number one, right? Definitely line number one is good line. Now let me do something here. Okay, let me do something here. Okay, you tell me carefully. Okay, try to look at this carefully. Is line number one better or line number two better now? Or let me try to draw this line number two a little better. Now, can you tell me why line number two is better? Why do you think line number two is better? Why do you think line number two is better? Correct, Aarti. Correct, Shubham. Yes. Correct, Zach. So try to see this very carefully, right? Do you understand that if with line number one, if this line gets shifted towards right, towards this side a little bit, it will start doing the errors? Do you see this? If this line number one, somehow because of some outlier or maybe because of some error, if we come up with a line which is a little bit tilted like this or maybe something like this, it is going to start making some errors, right? Right? Yes, we can definitely do that SV, and that is done by decision trees. Okay, decision trees will do these kind of things or random forest. Okay, let's not worry about that. Let's focus on only this part. Okay, so line number two is something which is given by SVC, support vector classifiers will come up with this line. They will say that logistic regression is anyways doing a very good job, but let me try to come up with a line which is equally distant from the negative and positives data point, so that even if this line is getting towards this side or this side a little bit, it won't hurt the classifications. Making sense to everyone? Cool. Now let's go down. Let's go down. Let me try to erase this entire part, right? So this is the entire thing actually. So let me not go down. So this is the entire thing, right? So logistic regression looks like a very good model here, giving us 83% of accuracy. So at the end, what I've done is, see, what I've done is, can anyone explain me what is the meaning of this thing? What is the meaning of this part? I am taking a user input, right? I am taking a user input. Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm taking a user input, right? I'm just saying, just try to input. So this is something that is going to get in front of you. You are going to see something like this, and it is going to ask you something to enter, right? So let me actually show you, right? Let me not talk a lot now. Let me actually show you. Let me copy this thing. It is not in the data, right? This comment is not in the data. I'm just writing a tweet here, right? I'm just writing a tweet at the rate Virgin America best flight experience, love them. Okay, so let's go up. Let me try to run up some code, right? Let me try to see if this code works fine. Um, please run. Yeah, I think this is working fine. Yeah, let's put this comment here. Okay, so this is something that I'm writing here. Okay, so I'm saying Virgin America best flight experience, love them. So what should be the output of this? Is it a positive or a negative sentiment? Positive, right? So let me hit enter. Okay, now it is saying one. Okay, it is saying one. Now what I did was, I just earlier, right, I converted positives to one and negatives to zero. Okay, wherever I was having positive, I converted it to one. So whenever it says one, it means positive. Whenever it says zero, it means negative. Let me try to write some other thing here. Okay, so let me say at the rate Virgin America worst flight, lost my bag, right? Something like this. Now what is the sentiment behind this text? It should be zero or negative, right? So let me try to run it. See, it is zero. Now isn't it amazing, right? As a human being, you are able to understand it. As a machine, your machine is also able to understand this, right? How many are able to understand this case study? Perfect. Yes, correct, Zach. Correct, Zach. Now, any questions, anything? So this was the end of foundational course, right? We learned a lot of things, right? In the previous three foundational courses, we learned a lot of things. We started with Python programming language. Then we did something called as data analysis. And now we were able to learn some of the machine learning. So that is a little different SV. So it is like tricking this machine, and this is not going to basically understand these kind of things. Yes, Arti, same feeling here. Okay, uh, yeah, yeah. So it is going to trick the machine. So what you can do is, SV, just try to download the code from my GitHub and try to run this code and try to see what is going to happen. Okay. So actually, I think it is going to say zero, right? It is going to say zero because not is going to be considered as a stop word, and it is going to remove it in pre-processing, right? Perfect. Now, any doubts, any questions?